I live my life wild. No discipline, I don't know where I will sleep, where I will wake up. If I sleep on the same pillow 2 nights, it's a luxury. I'm always somewhere else. So, I don't have any discipline, except that my day normally extends to 18 to 20 hours. Trying to slow down a bit, but it's only picking up speed and momentum But because I made myself in such a way that nobody other than me determines what happens within me. So nobody can frustrate me, nobody can make me unhappy or angry. So I have no issue if they wake me up at 2 a.m. in the morning and ask me something, I have no issue. The most important thing is, first of all, I made up my mind very early. In my life I've never applied for a job ever, nor did I go for any job interview or even think of a job. Always my family worried, how will you make a living? I said, I don't know. All I know is, if nothing works, I'll go… I spent weeks in the jungles of southern India all by myself. I learned to survive there. I said, if nothing works, I'll go into the jungle, you won't see me, but I will live. Don't think I will die. I know how to live. So, I don't see activity and people and challenges and impediments as anything that fundamentally disturbs me in any way. It's just that some things will make your work better, some things will impede things. So in that context I'm looking, that's all. I'm never looking at any activity or any person as somebody who can make my life or break my life, because I've taken that and kept it in my hands, absolutely. Or in other words, I'm just conscious of every thought and emotion that happens within me, so I can think wild and feel wild and let myself go where I want, because it's only happening according to the way I want it. I think this is something you must do. As I said earlier, if you create a little distance, you will see, you will understand the whole mechanics of how this works. But if you're in it, it looks like it's such a complicated affair. It's not complicated. It is just that individual people are complicating it within themselves. And about being mindful, no, I'm not mindful of anything, I'm generally mindless. Yes, I don't have a single thought on my head. I don't have any knowledge or knowing when I walk on the street, I just walk like I'm a 5-year-old boy, just joyfully looking at everything It's a bird or a butterfly, a man, woman, everything I'm looking at carefully, not with any intent, simply looking, because I have eyes. I must see everything that I can see. So, if you have keenness of attention, both internally and externally, I don't think you have to struggle with who will disturb you, what will disturb you, what will throw you off. No. See, balance, inner balance is the most important thing. You may have intelligence, you may have genius, you may have talent, you may have many things, you may even have a lot of wealth. Once there is no balance, all these things will turn against you. Your own intelligence will turn against you, your wealth will turn against you, your relationships will turn against you, everything will turn against you. Above all, balance. I'm well balanced. I came riding to Atlanta, I'll ride back on a motorcycle. I'm going towards 70, but I'm still riding. And because balance, both inner and externally, you were balanced. It's very, very important. If you're balanced, whatever you have, your intelligence, your capabilities, your talents will naturally find the best expression possible. Or in other words, if you're well balanced, everything that you can do in your life, you will do. What you cannot do, anyway you will not do. But if you're not balanced, What you can do, you will not do. In your life, if you do not do what you cannot do, there is no problem. If you do not do what you can do, you're a disaster. It's my wish and my blessing, you should not become such a disaster. So, there is a simple process that you can download this process. 12-15 minutes a day you can do it. It's called as Isha Kriya. Initially, you listen to it and do it. It's guided for some time. If you do it for, let's say, maybe 15 days or a month, after that you can even do it without any guidance, you can do it by yourself. Every day, just reminding yourself and linking your breath to it, especially if you do it just before going to bed. It's a simple way of creating little distance between you and your body, between you and the psychological process.
Dear seekers, what is the nature of frustration? Why does it grip our hearts so tightly, and how can we transcend this pervasive emotion? Can we transform frustration into a doorway to deeper understanding and inner peace? Frustration arises when there is a clash between our expectations and reality. It is the gap between what we desire and what is. Imagine a river that wishes to flow smoothly to the sea, but along its path it encounters rocks and boulders. The river's desire for a smooth journey is interrupted, and in this way it becomes turbulent, agitated. This turbulence, dear seekers, is like our frustration. Our life, like the river, has its own course, has its own flow. When we try to force it into predefined channels, wanting it to conform to our expectations, we inevitably encounter resistance. This resistance is the birthplace of frustration. The root cause of frustration lies in our attachment to outcomes. We are constantly projecting our desires, our ambitions onto the canvas of life, expecting it to paint a picture that aligns perfectly with our vision. When it does not, we feel betrayed, we feel angry and disappointed. But life is not a blank canvas awaiting our instructions. It is an artist in its own right, with its own colors and brushstrokes. Our task, our duty, is not to dictate the art, but to appreciate its unfolding, to find beauty in its unpredictability. Consider a simple example from everyday life. You are driving to an important meeting and you find yourself stuck in traffic. Your mind is filled with frustration because you are attached to the idea of being punctual. The traffic is simply reality, indifferent to your personal desires. If you accept the traffic, seeing it as just a part of the journey, your frustration dissipates. This acceptance does not mean you give up on punctuality or effort, but you release the rigid attachment to a specific outcome. To go beyond frustration, we must cultivate a state of acceptance. We must cultivate a state of surrender. This does not mean passive resignation, but a dynamic acceptance of life as it is. It means understanding that the river of life has its own flow, and sometimes it will be turbulent, sometimes it will be smooth. Our role is to navigate it with awareness. Our role is to flow with it rather than against it. Dear seekers, meditation is a powerful tool in this journey. In meditation, we learn to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment. without clinging to them. We become like the sky, vast and open, allowing the clouds of frustration to pass without getting caught up in them. Through this practice, we develop a deeper understanding of our true nature, which is beyond any temporary emotions or desires. Another approach is to transform our expectations. Instead of rigidly clinging to specific outcomes, we can embrace a mindset of curiosity and openness. Life is a grand mystery. It is an unfolding adventure. When we approach it with a sense of wonder, then every twist and turn becomes a part of the dance. It becomes a part of the beauty. We can set our intentions and make our efforts, but without the rigidity of expectation. Finally, compassion for oneself is essential. Frustration often carries with it a harsh inner critic. It is a voice that berates us for our perceived failures. By cultivating self-compassion, we soften this inner voice, thereby allowing ourselves to be human, to be imperfect. We learn to treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer to a dear friend. So, dear seekers, to move beyond frustration is to align ourselves with the flow of life, to embrace its unpredictability with grace and wisdom. It is to understand that life is not here to meet our expectations. Rather, it is here to teach us. It is here to help us grow. It is here to reveal to us the deeper layers of our being. When we truly grasp this, frustration transforms into a profound acceptance. It transforms into a joyous participation in the dance of existence. Remember, dear seekers, frustration is not an enemy but a teacher. It points us to the areas where we are holding too tightly, where we are resisting the natural flow. By letting go, by surrendering to the flow, we find peace, we find joy, and we find our divine, conscious, infinite nature.